baby. It's Shaka Billionaire Mafioso, the Dun Dada, a.k.a. SB Panther, a.k.a. Shaka Black, a.k.a. Shaka Fuego, a.k.a. Shaka Flame, man. A.k.a. the last waterbender, a.k.a. the water walker himself, a.k.a. Kingfish, Big Fish. You know what I'm talking about? Listen. Hey, man. Lately, for some reason, the ocean has been trending. People are scared of the ocean. People have been jumping in the Caribbeans with sharks and stuff. And now the latest adventure we got is this crazy story about somebody who was missing in a submarine. A family went missing or something like that. Billionaires went missing, and now they just recently found the pieces of the submarine. And they listen. I don't care what you say. If I was a billionaire, bro, I wouldn't be doing nothing too dangerous. I wouldn't be doing no deep sea exploration. I wouldn't be riding no motorcycles. Man, you probably wouldn't even catch me riding a bike because I'm worth too much money for that, man. So, I don't know, man. Let's get into this. This is a sad
story of Ocean Gate's Titan submersible. It was a small diving vessel designed to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. 3,800 meters.
Hey, the irony. They went to go explore the Titanic and ended up sinking themselves, bro.
Under the sea. But how did this submersible and the systems on it actually work? There are a lot of interesting systems on the Titan, from propulsion to communication. Wow. Some that worked, some that tragically didn't, and one that was even designed to dissolve.
They didn't do a pre-trip inspection on the damn submarine before they went that deep in the water, bro. They was risking their life on an experiment for fun.
Underwater. I'm Ryan, and welcome to Zero.
What up, Ryan? What's happening?
This channel normally focuses on sustainable energy and transport, but given that this was an electric vessel that operates out at sea, where a lot of energy projects are now being deployed.
Look at that, bro. It was an electric submarine. Would you have it there? Give me a gas-powered submarine any day.
I thought you'd probably find this interesting.
That's crazy.
Let's start with a quick overview.
With all this electricity.
The Titan submersible was designed to go as far as 4,000 meters underwater.
How far was it underwater?
Is equivalent to an elephant standing on one leg, and then 226 more elephants climbing on top. This pressure, combined with the darkness, cold, and difficulty communicating with the surface, are part of what makes deep sea exploration so difficult.
Not difficult, dangerous. You mean to tell me that water, man, hell yeah, that water probably crushed that little thing. Come on, bro.
The whole system weighed approximately 10 tons and was primarily made of a few core components, the largest of which was the carbon fiber hull, which was the eventual failure point of the vessel.
Carbon fiber? You going that deep with that much water pressure with carbon fiber, bro? They put carbon fiber on cars to reduce the weight. Why would you go down? Come on, bro.
And sadly resulted in all those aboard losing their lives. The hull was 5
There
inches
was no
thick,
chance of
repeated
survival.
Exposure to high pressures.
Hell no.
On the 7th dive to the Titanic.
Hold on. What was they taking? What was they taking a number 2 and a number 1? What was you taking a dump at, brother? You mean to tell me they sitting next to each other underwater just taking a dump by each other?
It imploded. To demonstrate this effect, here is a railroad tank imploding when put under a vacuum.
Yeah, that's
this
crazy.
Is caused by the pressure outside being much larger than the pressure inside.
Imagine what that'll do to a body.
The Titan would likely have been even quicker. This left me wondering what was actually put in place to stop this happening. The first way to prevent failures like this is to create a virtual model of the submersible and test its limits. However,
man, I'm not no scientist, bro. You tell me you finna put me on that much water pressure with carbon fiber, I'm gonna be like, hell no. Put some titanium steel alloy on that thing. Put the hardest shit known to man for that thing, bro. Come on, man.
Carbon fiber is notoriously hard to model because it is not one single block of material. It is instead lots of thin fibers that are interwoven and cured together.
Oh, hell
This
no.
also means there are many ways it can weaken, as layers shift and come apart from one another. Without
underwater
any destructive testing to fully test the limits of the Titan, these models were just not enough.
So that was going on.
The second system was meant to come in.
What?
Aboard the Titan, there was a real-time acoustic monitoring system.
So they was just doing an experiment real time with their lives. Come on, bro.
Which Ocean Gate claimed could detect buckling of the carbon fiber hull prior to a catastrophic failure. According to a patent held by Ocean Gate's CEO Richard Stockton Rush, this used multiple small sensors such as ultrasonic microphones and strain gauges
to monitor
good vibrations in the carbon fiber. This data would have been collected at regular intervals and sent to a centralized system for storage and analysis. At this point, it should have been able to assess the health of the internal and external structure.
What would that do if you were already deep in the water?
Conditions. However, this type of testing is a relatively new field,
and
clearly wasn't enough in hindsight. In fact, an open letter from the Marine Technology Society said that
there's two things I won't experiment with. Well, I might fly an experimental craft, but it has to work and it has to already have hours of flight time in a submarine. I'm not going that deep underwater. There's no OnStar roadside assistance under the water that deep, man. There's nothing you can do. If it fucks up, you're super deep in the water and you can't breathe underwater. Come on, bro.
They had concerns the Titan design could result in catastrophic negative outcomes.
Look, not only was you ain't see that fine print, minor to catastrophic. That's a huge spectrum. Minor to catastrophic. Minor result in negative outcomes from minor to catastrophic. What? That's just a way to say we don't know what's gonna happen.
Fiber concerning. But so was the tubular
That's crazy.
shape, which is much worse than a sphere at distributing the pressure.
That's just a way to say they do not know what's going to happen.
Next, we have the end caps of the Titan, which were made from titanium and secured onto the main hull using 18 bolts,
now they use
giving
titanium
passengers
at least.
No way to get out from inside. The viewing window was also reportedly made from a material that was only certified down to 1,300 meters, just a third the depth of the Titanic. These components were all tested together on a 1/3 model in collaboration with the University of
this is
Washington,
destined for failure.
At which point, an ex-employee called David Lockridge expressed concerns that the scale model of the sub had revealed flaws in the carbon fiber under pressure testing.
What was the point of blocking out his face if you just gonna give his real name? Man, but that's crazy, bro. This was not certified. If they never did no tests, dives with this submarine, bro, it was destined for failure, and you was just picking the right guinea pigs to die inside, and then there was no way of escaping it either, bro. This was a coffin.
But aside from the fatally designed hull, how did the Titan submersible actually operate, or know where it was going?
I seen this bullshit.
After an initial briefing, the first step of a Titan launch was to deploy the docking station from the main ship. This is why the Titan was actually classified as a submersible rather than a submarine, because a submarine is able to leave and come back to port under its own power. The docking station would then fill up its ballast tanks with seawater, increasing its weight and causing it to plunge 9 meters underwater. At this point, the Titan could detach and begin its descent, whilst the docking station refills its tanks with air and floats to the surface. At the end of the voyage, this process would then be done in reverse. The Titan was carefully balanced, so it wouldn't float or sink unless the electric thrusters were activated. It had 4 electric thrusters in total that could propel it up, down, forwards and backwards, or rotate it around. These were from a company called Innerspace, and are specifically designed to operate extremely efficiently in both forward and reverse directions. The power for these motors would then come from an onboard battery system, similar to those found in an electric car.
See, they was trying to be too green.
Have come under some significant scrutiny in the media, with the main focus being on the games controller used to direct the...
That ain't even a PlayStation controller. That ain't even a Nintendo DS controller. That ain't even a GameCube controller, bruh. What type of... Bro, that look like the Mad Catz controller that always used to have a shortage in it on PlayStation 2. Man, this is the craziest. You mean to tell me these people sacrifice their life, risk their life to drive a submarine with an off-brand Walmart controller? Oh my God.
The vessel. However, as strange as this sounds, it's actually quite common in military applications too, due to their ease of use.
Now that's a real controller.
And accessibility.
I mean, at least give me a PlayStation 5 controller or Xbox controller. I would have felt a little bit more comfortable. But a bootleg ass use GameStop, one of those ones, off-brand GameStop controller? Oh, no. From the 90s? Oh, no.
Game controllers are currently used all around the world to control anything from explosive disposal robots to Virginia-class attack submarines. The Titan also had touchscreen displays, which would have shown images from the external cameras and text messages sent from the main ship at the surface. I don't know about this. However, neither of these things are easily achieved deep down into the sea. For the cameras to pick up anything in the dark depths of the ocean, you need some pretty serious lights. That's why the Titan had 40,000 lumens of external lighting, which is about 40 times as much as a car headlight. Receiving messages, however, uses a much more elaborate system. The communication and tracking for the Titan sub were both done using what is known as an ultra-short baseline acoustic system. Acoustic pulses could then be used like Morse code to send messages. This is how the Titan sub was directed to the Titanic wreckage on previous voyages, as it had no navigation system.
They've been down there before then.
But that begs the question, how did the surface ship know where the Titan sub was located?
Because they obviously didn't.
That's where the acoustic positioning system came into play. First, the surface ship would emit an audio frequency from a transducer. When the transponder on the Titan received this, it would then respond with a similar signal, which would be picked up by the surface ship. By measuring the time taken to receive a signal, the surface ship could work out how far away the Titan was.
This is
and
wild.
By having multiple transducers on the ship, it could also work out the direction the audio wave came from. By combining these together, it would know where the sub was located and send messages to direct it.
So you telling me everything went wrong on this one?
Because we all know the tragic outcome of the last Titan voyage, the safety systems aboard may seem pointless. And given the corners that were cut when designing the hull, in many ways they were. However, let's see what safety systems were aboard that could have helped the passengers if the emergency was different. It is first important to consider that in all possible emergency scenarios where the passengers remain alive, such as a power cut or loss of communication, the best option would always be to return to the surface. However, if there was a fire, this would require extra action. This is why there was a fire extinguisher on board and smoke masks for all passengers.
Really?
Because resurfacing would have been the priority, there were 7 systems aboard to help the Titan reach the surface. These included powering the electric thrusters, inflating an air balloon, and dropping lead weights. However, one of these systems was actually a dead man's switch. This means that it would have worked even if everyone aboard had passed out. This dead man's switch was made using a material that would dissolve when exposed. I don't know if I rely on something called dead man's switch to keep me alive. This meant that after around 10 hours of diving, the material would completely dissolve and release sandbags from the bottom of the sub.
Crazy.
Because of this lost weight, the sub would have buoyancy and start floating towards the surface. None of these safety systems would work, however, if the Titan didn't have a fresh supply of breathable air. The key requirement for that is to provide oxygen to the hull and remove carbon dioxide. The oxygen was supplied by onboard tanks, and the carbon dioxide was likely removed by a CO2 scrubber. A common choice for this is sodium and calcium.
Man, you know it was destined to fail because it could only go 1/3 of the way it needed to go. And they knew that. Whoever put them down there knew that. Why would you put them, if it's rated for 1,500 pounds of water pressure, and you're going 4,000 pounds of water pressure, you're thousands of pounds missing the mark by thousands of pounds, bro. Come on, man. That's ridiculous.
Which trap the CO2 in a chemical reaction to ensure the air is breathable. This tragedy really shows that the ocean must be respected during all projects within it.
I think
from
we
energy
know that.
to exploration. I hope from all of this that you learned something new and found this video interesting.
That's crazy. Rest in peace to the people who did that, man. That it sounded like it was flawed from the get-go, and it was gambling with trick dice, man. Man, that's the craziest little story. I'll never go underwater with an experiment. If you ain't did it 1,000 times, if it hasn't been tried and true, if it's not a traditional submarine, nuclear submarine, whatever that's been working, hasn't ever imploded, don't put me in one, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think. It's an unfortunate situation. Do y'all think this could have been prevented? Are you with the green energy, even if it's costing people their lives to advance the technology? Cause this is crazy. But it's your boy Shaka Billionaire Mafioso the Dun Dada, aka Coldest Ninja Breathing Flames, aka Shaka Black, aka Shaka Flame, aka Shaka Fuego, signing out. A little bit disturbed, a little bit haunted by this little turn of events. But hey, man, it's been all over the internet, so we had to react to it. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike, subscribe, inscribe, transcribe, whatever you're gonna do, man. Signing out. Holla at me.